When we hear the term right livelihood, it's easy to feel a sense of failure. We picture a perfect Buddhist job, maybe teaching meditation, or running a nonprofit, or being an artisan who works in a quiet, mindful studio. And then we look at our own lives, the stressful office job, the long commute, the spreadsheets, the difficult boss, the pressure to produce. And we think, well, I'm failing at this. My livelihood isn't right. It's just necessary. What if right livelihood is not about the job title? What if it has almost nothing to do with what you do and everything to do with how you do it? Hello, and thank you for joining our conversation here at the Mindful Compass. Today, we're talking about that very real, very modern conflict between our spiritual path and our paycheck. How can you practice right livelihood when your job doesn't feel fulfilling, but it is absolutely necessary to feed your family and keep a roof over their heads? It can feel like a spiritual compromise, but the Buddha was incredibly practical. He wasn't just teaching monks, he was teaching householders, and he taught that providing for one's family with honest, diligent work is a profoundly noble and spiritual act. The path isn't about what your job is. It's about how you transform your job into your practice. First, let's be clear. Right livelihood, at its most basic, means not earning your living in ways that directly and intentionally cause harm, like dealing in weapons, poisons, or intoxicants. For most of us, our work isn't the problem. Our relationship to the work is. Here is a new way to frame your necessary job. The analogy, the workshop for the path. Imagine you have two goals. One is to earn a paycheck. The other is to walk the spiritual path. We usually see these as two separate, conflicting jobs. The Buddhist view is to see your job as the workshop for the path. You think the workshop's only purpose is to produce a product, the paycheck. But the real purpose of the workshop is that it's the perfect gymnasium for training your mind. It is designed to be your practice. That repetitive, boring task you hate, that is not a waste of time. That is your treadmill for practicing mindfulness, training your mind to stay present just for this one click, this one word. That difficult coworker or boss, that is not an obstacle. That is your patience partner. They are your live-in teacher for practicing patience and right speech. That stressful deadline, that is your laboratory for observing impermanence and non-clinging. You get to watch your mind's panic rise and watch it pass. The workshop is not supposed to be a spa. It's a workshop. It's where you get your hands dirty and build real, usable strength. So, what does this mean for you at 9 a.m. on Monday? It means you change the goal. The old, suffering-filled goal was, I have to go to this job to find fulfillment, and it's failing. The new, right livelihood goal is, I am going to this job in order to practice. This reframes everything. When you feel bored, instead of escaping into daydreams, which creates dissatisfaction, you say, this is my moment to practice right mindfulness. I will be 100% present for this one boring spreadsheet. When you feel angry at a colleague, instead of gossiping, wrong speech, or fuming, hatred, you say, this is my moment to practice right speech. I will be firm and clear, but I will not use malice. When you receive your paycheck, instead of just feeling relief, you see it as the fruit of your effort, and you can consciously dedicate it. With this, I am protecting my family. This is an act of care. Your necessary job is no longer a distraction from your spiritual life. It is your spiritual life in practice. This practice is about setting your intention before you walk into the workshop. I call this naming your tool. 1. Tonight, before you go to sleep, think about your workday tomorrow. 2. Mentally scan the day. Find one moment that you are already dreading. The commute? The 10 a.m. meeting? That one difficult client? 3. Now, name the tool from the Eightfold path that you will intentionally bring to that one moment. For the stressful commute, my tool is patience. For the boring meeting, my tool is mindful listening. For the difficult client, my tool is compassionate boundaries, metta plus right speech. 4. That's it. You've just transformed that moment from a problem into a practice. You're not just walking into the workshop, you're walking in with your tools ready. Right livelihood is not about having a job that makes you feel blissful. It is about bringing your intention and your practice to the job you have. Supporting your family is not a spiritual failure. It is a profound act of responsibility and generosity. It is the bedrock of a good life. When you bring your mindfulness, your patience, and your integrity to that necessary work, you are no longer just an accountant or a driver or a salesperson. You are a householder, walking the noble path with dignity. This is a path of great integrity. Let's walk it together. First, please share this video with someone you know who feels stuck in a necessary job. Let's reframe this work for all of us. Second, in the comments, I'd love to know, what is one practice tool you can bring to your workshop this week? Is it patience, mindfulness, right speech? And third, if you find this path of inquiry valuable and wish to continue these conversations, I warmly invite you to subscribe and follow our channel. Thank you for joining this conversation. May you be well. May you be peaceful. And may you find the profound dignity and purpose that comes from walking the path right where you are.